It's like a honey buffet. Well, hey y'all, it's Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike and I do bees. Welcome back to another day in my 2020 beekeeping season, the same day as I just made the last video on. I'm taking you all the way from winter through to the next fall here in my small operation in southeast Louisiana. And like I always tell you, it's not me sitting here trying to make a how-to video. It's all I can do to figure out how to. If y'all enjoy the video, I just want to give a quick reminder, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. So what I want to do today, guys, is take you through my top bar. Now I haven't been in my top bar in about a year. And this top bar, I built it, and I saw a guy online, and it was my second year. And I'm watching this guy online. Maybe it was my first year. I built it my first year and put bees in it the second year. And I saw this guy building it, and I thought, wow, that seems real easy because I'm not a good woodworker. So I get a bunch of scrap and a little bit here and there and start putting it together, some old hinges and stuff. You know what? That guy wasn't even a beekeeper. He was starting to. So, but I'm not knocking him. His, I'm turning around because of the wind. His bees didn't make it the first year. But his design wasn't terrible. He did put a screen bottom in. I should have done that. And the entrance shouldn't really be on where I got it on the front. I think it should be on the end. And if I did it over again, I'd build my top bars to where they fit a Langstroth hive. Now, I caught swarms in this thing. This is the third swarm it's been caught, and it's been in here now for 2 years. And the other ones, they didn't ever make it to the winter or whatever. But this one's been in there a while. And the last year, I did want to make a split off of it. And the way I'd split it is I'd have to do like almost a cutout, cut some of the stuff out. But I never did do it. I always usually keep it there and I always say if I need a queen I got one, but I don't ever go in it and I don't ever mess with it, and I always come up with other queens. So it just kind of stays and hangs out, and I show people when they come over and visit. It's got a little viewing door in the back, you can open it, but you can't see much. But I need to go in and take a look. I did watch them swarm this year. That was a pretty big swarm, and man, if that swarm would have went low, I would have definitely got it. But it went high up, way up in a pine tree, and that's okay. Again, I don't count it for much of anything. I don't harvest honey out of it. If there's some nice piece of comb honey and I want something, maybe I'd go take it. But the thing with top bars, what I don't get is when you harvest their honey, you harvest it at the end of a flow or toward the end of the year. Well, they're not going to build that back because they don't have a flow going. So you take their comb, so they can't build it back until the next flow, which is usually the next year. And so you're not going to refill it in the fall because you're not going to build that much comb. So I'm not big on the top bar for any type of production of anything. I think they're neat to have, and if you love having pollinators around, they're great. And if you just want to have bees and goof around and look at them and study them, they're great for that. One thing I caution people when they come down and they want to have one down in our area is I caution them against the heat. I tell them, man, watch that heat. Even when you hold them normal. My first year, if you grab a honey frame and you hold it normal and just hold it long enough out in the wind, and your little bit of movement you do, it'll break off. Man, I made a huge mess. This is the first hive I had in there, and I think that's what ended up being its detriment, because there was so much honey all over the place. I tried to scoop and clean and all that, but I think it got robbed. We got beetles went crazy. It was just a mess. So you gotta be careful with them. That I know. So I'm gonna go through it. See if we got any crazy combs, see if I can just look at it. I just want to look at it. It's loaded with bees. Y'all saw a picture of it in one video, man. It's got bees hanging out in the front. It's hot in there. And they're bearding like crazy. So let's go take a look, see if we can prop this thing up somehow, and take a look at this. Take a look at this top bar. So this is the front of it. They're already starting this morning to beard. See the entrance over here on the front? I'm not so sure about that. I would put it on the end next time by the caterpillar. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and suit up and get in here and see what we can figure out. So this is my little door, observation window I made in it. You can see it's loaded with bees. Now I'm gonna suit up for this one because ain't no telling how many times they've requeened since I've been in here. They've even got this propolized shut. There might be comb in the top. I mean, it's been a long time. I don't think there is, but it's been a long time since I've been in here. Yeah, see, they're out on this edge, so they're full. So I'm gonna tackle it from that edge. Been roaches in here too. All right, let's take a look. Now I've got these divider boards. Now again, I usually don't suit up, but I haven't been in here in so long. It's windy. It's below. Maybe the wind won't affect it. It's got tropical weather coming. They weren't built all the way out to the end last time I was in here, but they seem like they are now. This thing is profilised in here good. All right, there we go. Okay, well, not too bad. Problem is they build funky comb. Right here. So I'm gonna cut that. Oh yeah, it's all. Yeah, see, this might be a mess. So don't wanna. So I'm gonna leave that one together because I'm basically making a mess and I'm cutting their honey. We don't want a ton of honey in here. I'll be honest, this is one of the reasons I don't like them. I don't feel like they're great beginner hives. I really don't. Yeah, it's all cross-combed here. I feel like a beginner needs to learn on the length before you can move stuff around. This thing here, if you're not careful, you can destroy a hive like I'm about to do right now. I just don't feel like they're great beginner hives. This is my opinion though. I don't knock anybody who wants them. Now long length strip, that's different. Joseph Rawls, YouTube channel Joseph Rawls. He does a long hive. Basically he just uses the same frame. Let's see if we can get a frame out of here. They're all cross combed. And they weren't cross combed. Yeah, see, I'm about to I'm ripping that off. I can't take that out no more. I'm gonna destroy this hive. Gonna have to go from that end. Yep, this one's already broken loose. So I gotta get that out of there. I can't leave that in there. That's detrimental to them. Ugh. Yeah. That's a lot of honey. This, yeah, so I basically ripped it off of that one. They had it crossed over, but they'll fix that. Now it won't break loose. So, alright, so I don't want to tear this up no more than I already have. So we'll put it back. Let's go to the other end, see if we can do anything. The sad part is that side wasn't cross-combed at all a year ago. It was very well managed. And I'll leave them. I won't continue to try and like if I can't go in it, I can't go in it. And what I'll do is if they die out, then I'll go in and clean everything up. That's what I did last time. What thing's in there? Well, that was a feeder. You can see the propolis. That's the feeder door. You can put a little entrance feeder right there on this. So I'm gonna stick this behind y'all. We may not have no success in this. Alright. Let's see what we can figure out. Alright, hopefully it was full of honey now. Probably should go in it more often, huh? Yeah, I just broke honey off. I can't go through it, guys. I'll show you what I'm talking about. You see where I just broke that honey loose? It's stuck to the next frame over. And I mean, this is my fault for not going through it, but I don't want it to break all the way off. Because if you break it all the way off, that's just more for them to repair. It's more for them to clean up. And you know, that year I told you I spilled so much honey, I think when everything started getting in there, it made they didn't die. What they did was they absconded. I did save that swarm, or that abscond. It went to my Japanese magnolia up front, and I was able to save it, but it was small and it was a waste. So I don't want to do that again. I got a solid hive here, so we're gonna leave them alone. Wish it'd have been more of an inspection for y'all, but turns out it's not. Well, since I got y'all with me and we can't go through the top bar, I probably could stand to go next door and look at the 110 frame I've got. Let's go over there and look. So we'll do a little bonus footage on this hive right here. This is next door to where that old abandoned hive was. Guys, that abandoned hive swarm, it didn't requeen, it didn't make it. Just didn't make it. Now this hive, ooh. This is one that was getting weak on me. Reduced it to 1 deep. And I just left it alone. You know, just leave it alone sometimes. And that's what I did. And looks like they've done all right for themselves. Get a little smoke so we can see. Let's just take a look inside here. They didn't justify super, and looks like they still don't. I'm gonna break this side loose. Let's see what they look like. They stored themselves up enough honey. Let's just do this. Whew. That breeze feels good. Let's go in and see how honey bound they are. Now I just want to see if they're queen right. I see brood. There's a little patch of brood left in that honey. And there's a little patch there. And the rest is being backfilled. That's normal. They'll be set up for winter nice. They got a good population. Oh, come on out of there. Oh yeah. That's a nice pollen frame. That's full of pollen. I think this one was almost pollen bound. I had to give him some drawn comb. Can't remember. I have to look at my notes. But I just left them alone. There you go. Backfilling it with nectar. Well, that one's opened up. See if she put eggs in there. Looks like they're just emerging though. Well, she's still putting eggs in. That's good. So she's queen right. She's got a little bit of space. We need to go no further. I don't want to take a chance of messing anything up. Got a good population. They got good stores. And what I'll do is I'll look at the bottom for swarm cells. I wouldn't think she'd be swarming this time of year, since she's still got room and the flow is just wrapping up. That's what we're looking at. It's a bit of burr comb, but it's a burr comb. But this hive is good. It's heavy. Ooh, better believe it's heavy. I'm not going to scrape any comb or anything. I'm going to put them right back together the way they were. No need to increase space. There's no flow going on. I don't feed them, so increasing space is going to make room for these little boogers here, these beetles. And I'd have to feed the mess out of them to get them to build anything. And if I gave them drawn comb, that'd be immediate space for beetles to lay. So that's why they're set, really. The flow is ending, so she's still got space. They'll consume some of that honey during the dearth, and she'll have room to lay small patches of brood to get ready for winter. And the bees aren't going to be working as hard during the dearth, so we won't lose as many. So I think they say in July is when she starts making her winter bees down here, so we're set. So that hive, it had gotten really weak. It had swarmed and it had gotten weak, and so I removed them down to I reduced them down to a one box, and tried to super it with an excluder, but that didn't work. It wasn't helping them. They weren't going into the super, so I said, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and leave them alone and let them fill up for the winter, and that's what we'll do. So this hive, it'll winter with the food it's got, and it'll come out of winter, provided it makes it through winter. It should come out of winter as a hive that we use for production next year. That's it. Alrighty, folks, take 3. It's difficult sometimes to make videos. You guys that make them know what I'm talking about. I was telling somebody in the parking lot of church the other day. He might even be watching. It's hard. You mess up. I need to do like Joseph Rawls. Joseph Rawls YouTube does. He does bloopers at the end. I'm kind of embarrassed. I do some major mess ups. But anyway, it's my 3rd shot. But I'm in the same spot, the same shade as I was on the last video. It's starting to warm up a little bit, but it's not terrible. But you know, I just sweat a lot. So this video was basically just to go around, since I'm already hot and sweaty on Saturday. Wanted to go ahead and go through my top bar. Haven't been through it in a year, but as you see, that was a bust. Top bars to me are very difficult in the deep south with the heat. One thing is you got to build them right. That's part of my problem. I think if I build them right, the entrance, I could get to the back a little better. But anyway, not to mention, my bars are legit though. I bought those bars. Had to trim them down to fit. I bought them from Better Bee, I think. They're really good bars. But since last year, I looked to have cross-combed a little bit. Not bad, but they've taken that comb and they've curved it on the ends, and they've joined it. Not to the sides, but together. So what happens down here, when you break those a little bit, it's so hot and that wax is so soft, it'll fall down in there. And I flooded a hive a couple years back. Oh, it's my first hive that was in there, my first colony. Literally flooded it. I'm talking about an inch of honey in the bottom, and it drew pests, and it messed them up, and they got all out of whack, and they absconded, and the beetles got in there. So next one, it swarmed, and then I think it died. And then this is the 3rd one I've had in there. All of them have been swarms, and this one's lasted a couple years now. This one's done good, and it's packed. And I saw it swarm this year, and it's cool. If it had landed low, I'd have got it, but it didn't, and it's no biggie. It's a bonus hive. It's fun to have in the yard. But I don't see where they're for beginners. Some people say they're for beginners. As far as natural beekeeping, I don't know about that either. You still put them in a box. But it's fun to have, but I can't mess with it. I don't want to mess that good colony up. I'd always treat it as something that if I needed a queen, I could get it, or if I wanted to cut out and frame up some of that comb, I could do it. But right now I couldn't get in there if I wanted to without destroying their comb. So I just left it alone. I showed you where it was breaking, and that's enough. I had to get that one piece out because it had already started just falling down, and I don't want that. I don't want to mess them up. They're a good colony. And so I left them alone. The time to do that is in the early spring. Obviously that or at a dead out. but I don't want it dead out. But at early spring, when they've depleted a lot of their stores, maybe get in there in the middle where the brood nest is, and if you break something there, it's not the end of the world. Then you can straighten all that comb out, cut off some of the curvy stuff, and let them rebuild. But to cut it out now and all, they got no time to build it back up, and they got no flow that's going to come in to help them build. And so you'd have to feed them and all, and I'm not doing all that. It's just a neat little hive to have. They don't bother me on the mower. They're happy-go-lucky, so I just leave them alone. They've been hot, though. They've been bearded for like almost 3 or 4 weeks now on the front. And they may swarm again, too, because they're full, but who knows? We'll see. We'll watch them. It's just a fun hive to have. So I decided, well, let's go next door. They looked great. That's the one we went through. They have what they need. They've got plenty of food. They don't need any more space because their brood nest is full, and there's obviously no swarm cells, but they've got room for her to lay a little bit more, to keep laying small patches of brood. The flow is over. They've got nice surrounding nest is all surrounded by honey, so it's nice and full. So that'll be a good single just to leave it alone. In the fall, they'll probably put a little extra in, and they'll go on in the winter. And next year, hopefully that'll be a production hive. It was supposed to have been a production one this year, but that's one that I put an excluder in and it swarmed. But that's it, guys. That's all I wanted to do. It's just miscellaneous little hives here and there. So I think I've got everybody pretty much set. Gotta go back through the ones from the last video. I think everybody's set. So we're sitting around waiting for honey, consolidating hives, picking up anything that swarmed and didn't requeen and is no good, and hoping for the best on our honey harvest. Alright guys, that's gonna be it. Hey, I really appreciate everybody watching. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Again, I tell you that because when you give it a thumbs up and you like the video, the more likes on the video will put this thing in the recommended pages of other people searching for bee videos, and that way everybody gets bee videos from all over the country. So don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And guys, don't forget to share it with your friends, your family, anybody just enjoys watching bees. This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, and God bless y'all.